What's going on, guys? Tua Cruz here, and today we're going to be checking out my brand new bike. This is actually my brand new race bike, and I'm really excited to share this bike with you guys. This is my first ever Cannondale bike, and I've got my party shirt on today. That just shows how excited I am. So this is the Cannondale SuperSix EVO CX. So this is Cannondale's race-ready cyclocross bike. And apparently Cannondale, their cyclocross bike and their gravel bike both use the same frame. They're both a SuperSix EVO. One is the CX, the other one is the SE. So the SE is more the gravel side, and then the CX is more the cyclocross side. So they use the same frame, and this one's just more suited towards cyclocross racing. And you might be wondering, why am I getting a cyclocross bike? And so I wanted to announce in the channel that I'm going to start racing again, and I'm going to be doing some cyclocross racing. So years ago on the channel, we had our old Japan cyclocross series videos. So some old fans of the channel will know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'll leave a link down below in the description. Back when I used to live in Japan, I did the local cyclocross series there and had an awesome time doing it. Really enjoyed it. But my wife and I, we moved to Thailand, then we moved to Vietnam. They didn't have cyclocross there. It was really hot weather. And so now that we're moving back here to Michigan, where we actually have cold weather and we actually have a cyclocross season, I'm very, very excited to start racing cyclocross again. And I had to get a good bike. So this bike, not sponsored, bought this completely with my own money. And actually I got a really good deal on it. So this is sort of a closeout model. Originally, this bike retails for about a little over $4,000, and online they had a closeout sale. So they have two different versions of this. They have the purple edition, and then they also have this gold edition. I believe this one is called Gold Dust, and this one was on sale for I think about $2,400, so $2,500 with tax. This is by far the most expensive bike I ever bought, but I justified it because I don't know how many more years I'll have where I'll be able to race competitively, and I didn't want to give myself a disadvantage by getting a lower end bike. I'd rather spend a little bit extra money and get a nice premium bike, and that's what this is. This thing is a race machine. I just went and picked it up from the shop, and when I picked it up, this bike is stupid light. It's probably lighter than my road bike, or just about the same weight. And so I checked it just when we got it without pedals or anything. It was just under 18.5 pounds. I've got a few extra accessories on the bike now. I added my bottle cages, I added my pedals, my bike computer. So I'll be doing another weight check and seeing how much it is, but still, a sub 19-pound cyclocross bike, this thing is gonna be absolute flying, and I'm really excited to start racing with it, start training with it. Cyclocross season is right around the corner, and I saw the discount on this bike. I think it was about 40% off. I had to pull the trigger. So anyway, in this video, we're gonna be doing a first look at this bike, checking out all the specs, going over all the details, and I'm gonna be going out for a quick little test ride after this. I actually haven't ridden the bike at all yet. I had to film this video before I went for a ride, but I was really tempted to go for the ride before I filmed this. But anyway, let's check it out. So this color edition is called the Gold Dust. It's a really shiny, sparkly, black kind of frame. You can't really see it unless we're directly in the sunlight. So I'll add some extra video there so you can see it. But yeah, mostly black frame. We got the bright neon green Cannondale logo on the down tube. And I am kind of glad. This is my first Cannondale bike, and if I'm getting a Cannondale, it's got to be green. When I think of Cannondale, I think of green. It also transitions here along the backside of the rear triangle. We've got this darker green, kind of goldish color here. And it's not really picking up very well in camera how sparkly this frame is, but this thing is very shiny in the sunlight. We've also got some different splatter kind of paint here on the inside of the rear triangle as well. And on the front fork, we've got that same splatter pattern on the inside. We got this little X decal here on the side of the fork for cyclocross is what I'm guessing. And we got this interesting little logo up here in the front. And aside from the discount that I got on this bike, there were a couple other reasons that really made me interested in this bike. So let's talk about some of the other unique features. In the front, we've got a 160 size rotor, and in the rear, we've got a 140. So we got slightly more braking power up in the front of the bike. And one of the main things I really liked about this bike is the tire clearance. This thing comes stocked with cyclocross tires, and you can see we have plenty of tire clearance here. So this thing can easily fit some wider gravel tires on here. So that was one of the main really nice things about this bike, is it still had that cyclocross race kind of geometry and feel, but still gives you the versatility to ride some wider gravel tires if you want them. I know there's the trend now of there's no pure cyclocross bikes anymore because everyone's converting to do the gravel, but this one seemed to retain a little bit more of its cyclocross DNA than some of the other models. We've also got a front derailleur mount here in case I do end up getting a double. I'm usually a fan of doubles, but I'm gonna try giving the 1x a go for the beginning of the cyclocross season, but we'll see. What do you guys like? Do you like a double in the front, or do you like the 1x drive setup? Another thing I liked about this frame is the cable routing. So all the internal cable routing is done through this section here, and there's nothing going through the headset. I really dislike the new trend that a lot of the fancy bikes now have cable routing going through the headset, which just seems like an unnecessary hassle. You might get a small little performance gain, but this is just way easier for the home mechanic like myself. One thing that I didn't really like is this brake cable seemed to be a little bit too long, but whatever, that's all right. I'll fix that the next time we get the brakes bled. As far as components go, this bike is stocked with some SRAM Force 11 speed. So we got the shifter here on the right side, and since it's 1x, we've only got the brake on this other side. The other cool thing with this bike is this is unintentional, but I've got one of the old limited edition yellow Wahoo element bolts, and it matches the rest of the frame perfectly. So that was a pretty happy coincidence. On the top of the top tube, you can see that glittery kind of pattern, and it's sort of a gradient going into that darker green gold color right here. There was a bunch of stickers on the bike, so I removed them as best I could. I'm gonna have to get some solution to wipe off some of the rest of that residue. We got the bike model here, the SuperSix EVO. As for the saddle, this thing comes with a Physique Aliente. I haven't used this saddle before, so we'll be giving it a try and seeing how it does. For the rest of the components, we got a Cannondale front crank. This one comes with a 40-tooth chain ring. Hopefully that'll be enough. I'm still pretty new to the 1x setups, and so far my impression has been that I usually don't have as much top gear as I would like, but this seems to have a more normal size cassette. So we got an 11-speed cassette on here. This is an 1136, and we got the SRAM Force rear derailleur here. For the wheels, we got some DT Swiss R470s. I don't think these are anything fancy, but these will do the job for training. Maybe I'll upgrade and get a nicer wheel set for race day when that comes. And for the tires, we got some Vittoria Torino Mix. These are tubeless ready tires, and hopefully these rims are also set up tubeless ready. I haven't done a tubeless setup on the gravel tires or cyclocross tires yet, so I'm gonna have to give that a try this season and see how it does. Let me know down in the comments if you've tried tubeless for either gravel or for cyclocross, and if you have any recommendations. Another cool part on the frame here is we've got our UCI sticker. So I actually went with a size 56. And for my pedals, I put on the Favero Power Meter SPD pedals. These things have been great for training so far, and I just swapped them over for my mountain bike. I think on my mountain bike, I'm just gonna use the normal SPD pedals, and I'll keep this on this bike because I'll be doing a lot more training on this bike from now on. So yeah, I'm really pumped about this purchase. I've been researching and looking into cyclocross bike options for the last few weeks here. So I had a whole Google spreadsheet with different models, different specs, different prices. And originally when I was looking at this bike, it was on sale for $3,000 from the original $4,000. So about 25% off. And already I thought it was a good deal then. And a few days went by, I was double checking, going over everything, and I saw that it had another price drop. It went down to $2,400. And at that point, I knew I had to go with this one. I pulled the trigger, and yeah, really happy with this bike. And I'm gonna wrap up this video because I want to go out for my test ride and just start getting everything dialed in. There are some other sort of weird quirks with this bike though that I noticed in researching it, and that is with the rear wheel. It has a sort of offset, so you can't use normal wheels. They have to be dished to a slight offset for them to work, which I figure whatever, that's not the end of the world. I can just get a touring stand and I should be able to do that myself. It's still using press fit bottom bracket, but again, not the end of the world. Overall, it looks great. It feels super lightweight. I can't wait to see how it feels on the ride. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this video here because I gotta go for my ride before it gets too dark. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm excited to continue testing out this bike and updating you guys on my progress with my racing here in Michigan. So I started training again a bit more seriously and hoping to put in the work to get some decent results this upcoming season. We'll have some more race videos up in the near future.
Winner, blazing fast, Cruz Bogaden! Your man's
And hopefully, my wife will be able to make it here before cyclocross season starts, because I would love for her to have the opportunity to experience the cyclocross culture here in Michigan and also try out some races herself. So crossing our fingers that she'll get her interview date for her visa pretty soon and she'll be able to make it here before the fall cyclocross season. Anyway guys, I'm gonna go for my ride. We'll see you in the next video.